welcome to a new episode of Revell Model Kit News. Today I'm joined with Jürgen. Hi, Jürgen.
Good morning, Alex. I hope you're doing fine.
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Hope you too. And when Jürgen is here, then we are going to talk about cars. The last episode was with Luke about planes, and today we are talking about cars and some of your comments that you made on YouTube around cars.
Yeah.
Here we go. Yes, we have some racing material this month. But first, let's jump into the community comments and community questions. Would you like to pick one that you would like to answer first up?
Yeah, I assume it will be many comments.
Right. So we have Scott who asks a quick question: are there any plans for other VW Volkswagen models as older Golfs? We had just the Golf convertible. We just had that in the last month. Jetta, Scirocco. Is there anything that might come back in the future?
Some time ago, we re-released the VW Corrado.
Yes.
Jetta is not planned, but let me put it this way. We have some items on the list, yes. I do not want to be very specifically, but there are some more we have also in our focus. Yeah.
Jetta would be something for me as well, because Jetta 1 was my first car. Just remembered when I read it that was my first car that I owned. Okay, and I would love to see the Ford Eliminator. I had to Google that one, the Eliminator, and other European cars such as Skoda. Skoda would be interesting as well.
Actually, we have quite a long list of items we could release. But I'm sorry, I cannot be very specific for the future plans. But Skoda is also among them. Yes. When it comes out, what year, totally open. Might be even postponed if, let's say, aircraft is more important in that year. It's an open point, actually.
Yeah, but there are conversations and there are talks about it. That's good to hear. And the Ford Eliminator, what was that? What was the Ford Eliminator?
That would be more an issue. That's not so much in the focus, actually. No.
Okay, and it's in US model, right? It would be
more US related.
Yeah. All right. Then Dean wrote, I have the two Stranger Things Camaro and VW bus. Big fan of the show. Thank you. As well as her granddaughter. Okay, maybe I assume he is a big fan of our show, but maybe he is a fan of Stranger Things. Maybe both. I hope so, that he is both. He is talking about how his Opa, his grandfather, was traveling with a Volkswagen T1 that we had on last time as well, back and forth between Berlin. And he was just saying this. There's no question in there. So thanks, Dean, for sharing that story.
Talking about Stranger Things, there will be a new season coming out end of the year. And we have one item also on the list playing a key role in that season. I cannot be more specific because we are asked to keep it as a kind of secret, but we already in development of that very important car, so we still will proceed with Stranger Things.
And he's asking about, or he tells us that he needs to find figures of the creatures. Do you know if there are any creatures out there from Stranger Things? Not from Revell.
I never checked it before because we are more focusing on the vehicles.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there are figures, but I could not tell from company so and so.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure there's something to find on the net.
Yeah. I think so as well. All right, then we hop over to the next page. More mid-20th century cars, like race cars, like Alfa Romeo, for example. Did we have an Alfa Romeo in the programs at any time?
Yeah, there's
Julia, right?
been one in the past, quite a while ago. It wasn't our tooling. We were buying the stuff in poly bags. Well, we considered a little bit from the 1930s in form of the Mercedes SSKL, for example, which we brought out in February, 132 scale. The 20s, a little bit difficult. It's actually a little bit too long ago. Too specific.
I think he means the mid 20th century, so he means around 1950s, 1960s, 1970s.
Oh, okay.
That's
No,
what I
no,
think.
it's yeah, not Alfa Romeo. No, no.
It's a bit niche, but I think we had
Yeah,
we had
that's
a
the point.
Julia
It's a
on.
little bit niche. Nice cars,
Yeah,
for sure, but it's too much niche.
beautiful cars. Then how is his name? Rear Manuel Kills. The Transformer range would be nice.
Yeah, transforming cars or figures to another appearance. So from car to figure or figure to back to car is not that easy. It must be movable, it must be functional, and will not be so fluent as you see it on TV. Of course, we have a digital version. That's very difficult. Yeah.
I think the only solution could be that you have two kits in one set. One is the car, and one is the transformed version, so that you can
That would
build
be a
both. And
different kind of story, but the transforming function,
yeah, that's hard.
very hard.
Yeah.
That's very hard.
That's hard to design, and then really hard to build, so that it's working properly.
Yeah. To get it done, okay, but really to get it a very good moving and good transforming function, it shouldn't be underestimated.
But an interesting question: is there a new Transformers movie coming out or so?
I'm pretty sure.
I'm
pretty sure.
okay.
As long as I can make money, there will be new stuff in the next
Yeah.
years. Maybe in 3 years, maybe in 4. But you already can see we have suggestions for Alfa Romeo, we have Volkswagen, we have Stranger Things, we have Transformers. Just in this few comments, so we cannot realize all.
all over
a
the
bit
place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then here we have some from Robert. We have some wishes for US cars from the 60s. There are some coming. There are already some cars out. I'm not sure if there's more coming out in the near future. Do you know anything?
Yeah, but it's more US related, so our colleagues from USA will more take care of it.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, actually. The biggest market is USA,
Yeah.
and therefore it makes sense for them to pick them up and bring them out.
Yeah. Maybe I should get one of the colleagues on the show one time, then I can ask them all those questions. And then we have some comments about F1 cars, about the scaling of the F1 cars. Some would like to have them in 1 to 12, some in 1 to 24. So then here, one built them in 1 to 25, the Indy cars. We are going to talk about the F1 cars in this episode. But do we have any takes on these special comments here?
Yeah, as you can see, one is asking for a US scale, so 1 to 25. The next one is asking for 1 to 24, the third and 1 to 12. We will not be able to fulfill all demands. It's impossible. We will focus, of course, on a scale, but we cannot follow all suggestions. It would be simply too much.
Yeah.
But we come to Formula One anyhow later on. So
yes. But first, we go a little bit back in time. The first model we would like to talk about that's coming out in April is the Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR Uhlenhaupt Coupe. Definitely one of the most beautiful cars ever built, I would say.
Yeah.
And
the well-known and internationally legendary car, also not because of the gull wings only. It's based actually on a motorsports car, let's say more or less Formula One technique under the bonnet. And the designer simply took the motorsports car and put on a normal body and took the car to drive from his hometown to his work every day. He had a speed of more than 150 kilometers in 1955. So at that time, it was quite a lot. Very nice cars. Just two of them were built. Very expensive. I guess it was on an auction for 135 million, about that amount.
It holds the record. First, it was the Ferrari 250 GTO that went for 43 million or so, and that more than tripled the price for the most expensive auction of a car. Yeah.
So it was really a Formula One car on the street,
Yeah.
and very nice shape and design. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so iconic, so it was worthwhile to bring it out in a kind of special celebration box as well, just to honor this specific. It's 70 years ago.
Yeah.
If you see the car, how nice it is, and what they could have done in the 1950s, that's really amazing.
And Uhlenhaupt was a fast driver. He wasn't a racing driver, but he was known for being really quick and doing the what was it? I think Stuttgart München or so in
Exactly.
2.5 hours or so.
Stuttgart was his hometown, and he was using the car to drive from Stuttgart to Munich. Took him less than 1 hour at that time. Was brilliant.
Which is 3 times quicker than you can do it today.
There wasn't so many cars on the street, but the road conditions were not that great as well. But he had a very good feeling for design, but also for engineering.
But just imagine what that must feel like if you are going on the autobahn with a Beetle, like with 80 or 85, and then this thing flew by with its and the engine is built of 2 4-cylinder engines, right? They put together
and,
2 4-cylinder
as I
engines
said,
and made an 8-cylinder engine from it.
That's Formula One technology, so very powerful engine, could generate a brilliant performance. And then you do not have to forget that there was no supportive system, so it was just pure handling by hand, no specific support.
No assistance, and so yeah.
Yeah, no assistance at all. So you really should know what you have done when you were driving so fast.
Yeah.
And it wasn't so simple and comfortable as nowadays.
Yeah. And every time when I see a 300 SL or SLR with the door open, I remembered when I was on an event at Mercedes and I had the opportunities to sit in one. You can bang your head so badly on this door. If you don't know it, it's hard to get in because like the entry is this far away, so it's really hard to climb in there. You have to be a bit sporty, and then getting out of there without scratching anything. And of course, you are really careful to get in and out there. But it's an amazing experience to sit in a 300 SL. It's really cool. Okay, so that is a great model. It is in 1 to 24.
Yes,
It is
correct.
on level 4, right? So
Yeah.
bit more experienced model builders.
So you should know what you do.
Yeah.
Yes. To get a very fine result. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of chrome parts.
Yeah. Actually, you can see basically what you really can achieve. All details considered, the respective parts well realized. Very nice for a shelf for this. Very nice.
And you can build the doors in both conditions. You can build them closed
You
and
can
open.
keep it either open or closed.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's up to you what you prefer, what you like to have.
Yeah.
And as
Okay.
you said, the stepping in, how broad the sidewall is, and it's not so easy to get in because you have to do the huge step and let's say more or less fold yourself to come onto behind the steering.
Cool. And then we have something that you don't see that often. We have another race car, the Porsche 917 10. And we have it with a race driver figurine. That's not that common that we do that. Or that we have
Yeah,
at Revell, right?
that's was a kind of feature when they came out. in the past. It's a reintroduction, it's not a new tool, in 1 to 32 scale. Porsche was extremely successful with the 917 in a closed version, winning Le Mans, for example. It was a red-orange car with a 17 on the starting number. There were some changes in motorsports regulations, so they couldn't use the 917 in the form they wanted to have. And therefore, they decided to participate on international races to make a different kind of version, especially in USA. So they opened it. It's an open car, and that was then changed in the name to 91710. So it was a reaction to change the regulations to get it then in an open version. And then it continued to be successful as well.
And this particular car was only racing in the US, or was it racing in Europe as well in series?
Europe as well, but very successful and very dominant in USA as well.
Okay.
So internationally, still very successful.
Yeah. And can you tell us a little bit about the model kit? What are the specialties here of the model kit?
You normally not use it's not so correct. Nowadays we have more close bodies, so it's basically one part, and separately is maybe the grill or so. But in this case, you have several body parts, and you should carefully follow the instruction sheet because it's an elderly tooling. It's a re-release. We've been asked to bring them out again because a lot of people were building this stuff in their childhood. The result was so and so when being 10 years old or so, and they were keeping on asking us to bring it out again to have a chance to build it up again. And, but of course, the locations are not so exactly precise as you have nowadays done by CAD material or CAD-based tools. Therefore, you should really follow carefully the instruction sheet to really see exactly how is it aligned, where is it attached to, and so on.
That is an interesting topic, model builders out there. When you have an old model that you built as a kid and then bought the model kit again and build it now for the second time as an experienced model builder, send us the pictures and the story behind those and your experience with those to webmaster@revell.de. Then we could feature them in a segment in the next show or one of the next shows. That would be really interesting to see what you built as a kid and then 20, 30 years later.
Well, it's if you really want and you are skilled, you could also use the shape of the car and change the interior so you have you can switch it, let's say, to a slot car if you use a specific base, all the technology on it, and just put on the body on it. But then it depends on you. We do not show it in the instruction sheet, but that should be done on your own. But some people already plan to do it.
Wait. That would fit one of the Carrera slot cars?
Not digital, but 1 to 32, and a few already plan to bring it on.
Nice. Yes.
So
If
you
you
take
do
the
that, send
base
us pictures.
of a slot car, you have the technique inside, and just put on. It also requires some adjustment for sure.
Yeah.
And bring on the body.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you have to drive it a little bit more careful if it flies off in the
should be
curve.
helpful. Yes.
It's not exactly made for hard impacts like the Carrera cars normally are, but that is a cool idea. Yeah, if somebody builds that, show us the pictures. Cool. And then we come to our last topic, which is a bit larger topic. We have one model, and the topic itself, it's Revell and McLaren cooperation. So we are bringing out Formula One cars again. What can you tell
Yeah.
us about that?
We started, let's say, a little bit when it comes to the 300 SLR by using Formula One technology below the bonnet. In the 1 to 32 scale line, what we had just recently on the Porsche 91710, there will be more items come out. Among them is, for example, the Surtees, also Formula One car. And then we said we continue to focus a little bit more on Formula One. So we have Formula One in different appearances already in our mind. Next step will then, of course, be a reintroduction of McLaren.
Here?
This one, yes. Lewis Hamilton for sure is known by nearly everybody. Very nice car, quite successful. It's also a reaction to the general interest which comes up. Formula One gets more and more in the focus. And we want to start first with a reintroduction, what we already did also some while ago, here and there. And there might also, let's say it this way, come up more.
Yeah, I know one thing that is reintroduced, and which is, I would say, one of the most iconic Formula One cars ever is the Tyrrell with the double axis, with the double front axis.
Yeah.
That's coming as well, right? That was always my favorite. I don't know if this card game, those quartet games are a thing internationally, but in Germany we often played those card games with Formula One cars, for example, and the Tyrrell was always my highlight in there, the P34.
It was so unusual to have a double axle at the front.
Yeah.
That was basically necessary because of changes in the regulations. They had to change the front a little bit, and just to make sure it wouldn't race during the race, the guidance for the wind had to be altered. But it came to the point that they didn't have so much control in the front.
Yeah.
So they decided to bring on two axles, and the steering was quite good, and performance also. And it was actually a reaction, or let's say a solution for a problem from the regulation changes in Formula One.
Yeah.
But the idea, the final outcome, the two axles performed very well. And even if one tire was defective, they could still race by using the second axle. So it worked quite well, and it was so unusual. It's a very unique car.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward for this one.
Give us a little bit while. I mean, we will talk about this issue next time.
First you can build Hamilton's car here from the championship. He won his drivers' championship, and McLaren got second place in the constructors.
So very successful for McLaren.
Yeah.
The car itself was very, very shiny, and you can achieve the result. Of course, it's up to you if you want to. We have this kind of chrome spray in our line. So to get this brilliant appearance, you can do it by using the chrome spray. If you would like to have it in this way, then of course you can paint it. That would be actually then the result of being very shiny in silver. Decoration is a little bit challenging, therefore it's a level 4 item. A lot of details has to be accurately worked on. It can be done for sure, you see the result, but you should be working precisely. Yes.
As you have to do in Formula One. I mean,
assembly not problem, but the decoration requires a little bit. Patience and also exactness. Yeah.
I remember the pits in Formula One. They looked more. I visited them from Ferrari in 2011 and 2012, and they looked more like a surgery room in a hospital than a workshop. So clean, so orderly. So everybody was walking there so calmly when there was no pit stop in the moment. And they are. If you see a Formula One car in front of you, it's astonishing. They look so big on TV, and when you're standing in front of it, everything is so tiny and so fragile.
It's vastly underestimated. When you stand in front of it and see a driver sitting inside, there isn't much space left and right of the shoulders.
Yeah.
And they do not have a choice, they must take out of the steering wheel, otherwise it's impossible to step in and step out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of, yeah, say rocket on wheels,
Yeah.
but there's not so much comfort in it, really.
No, not really. Not.
No, no.
Don't
It
want to go just
always
look
looks
at that.
so easy if you see it on the track,
Yeah.
but it's really a hard job to do it.
Yeah. And it's challenging to build even on level 4 because you have all those tiny details, but then you get
Yeah,
a wonderful model out of it. Yeah.
but you should notice at once it's based on CAD, so the parts
Yeah.
fit very well.
Yeah.
But if you bring on the decals, you must really work accurately, not turning it left, right a little bit. That must be really in line.
Maybe without looking too much in the future, into the future, but can you tell us a little bit of how a cooperation on this car, or the cooperation on this car worked? Did you talk with McLaren on this? Did McLaren share
Yeah.
any information?
Yeah, it was extremely helpful from McLaren. Very kind people. We were asking for material. In the beginning, you do not have anything on hand. Actually, it's just a picture on a magazine, maybe on TV screen, resolution of 100 kb. It's nice to see, but it doesn't help a lot. So you are depending on good and reliable information. They were giving us a CAD surface,
Wow.
so you could realize it exactly in the way as it was driving. And then, of course, you have some photos also for the interior, so for the steering wheel as well, and also for the seat. And based on the information you get from the licensor, you start, of course, the development.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. So
Yeah, it's
getting
the only source where you get the stuff. Otherwise,
yeah.
it will be very hard.
But it must be
They're
pretty exciting
very
when
friendly, very
the
friendly.
mail from McLaren arrives and you have the CAD files of a Formula One car to open. That must be cool.
Yeah, but it's all secret keeping. If you get any material, it's so secured, and just really a handful of people see the stuff.
Yeah.
When we come out, then of course it's already on the screen, it's already shown on TV, you've seen it on the races, then it's not such a secret anymore. But of course, it will all be kept so secretly. You can count it on one hand how many people really see and get in touch with the CD material.
Yeah.
And it must be done for sure.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's a competitive advantage, and they don't want to let other people look into their cards. Yeah.
Yeah, and the basic success for the races, the small details, they are shown later on in magazines, in sport magazines. Or very important, the technique in the engine. Of course, we just make surface that we can say, yeah, it looks like, but the important stuff, of course, it's not realized by us. So the risk of giving us CAD material is not so high because we just consider the outer shape.
Yeah. But still really, really cool. So we are looking forward to what's coming in the next month, and of course, every model builder out there, if you have any questions or comments, just put them below this video, and we try to pick as much as possible and talk about them in the next episode. Cool. All right, Jürgen.
Excellent.
Then I would say have a nice day.
You too?
Productive day. We are in the middle of the week here, so I hope we get a little bit of sun time outside today as well.
Okay, great.
All right. Until
Good.
next time.
It was nice talking to you again, and have a nice day.
Have a nice day. Bye bye.